Ew! Smells like it's time for another Shy Life podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
Hello. It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, you know.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Boy, he's not all that shy, is right. Jeez.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life podcast.
Excellent.
640.
Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm all right. So what's going on this episode? Well, I'm glad to announce that we've got Uncle Warren back. Hi, Uncle Warren.
Hello, Paul. Oh, that sounded a bit like Toppy, didn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to come out quite like that. Sorry there.
Impersonating the great.
What I was going to do, as YouTubers say, "What's up, dudes? What's happening?"
Well, I'm just hoping for a quiet episode. We can talk about TV.
Not with us about it. Won't be quiet.
Well, apparently, it's Uncle John and Cromitty are going out taking photos, so we should have the house to ourselves. We should have the house to ourselves.
Ring.
Yeah, we can talk about old TV to our heart's content. Plenty of coffee and biscuits and stuff. So
you like a few old TVs.
Yes. Well, we will run the theme music when we come back. We'll get on with it, and we'll talk about TV as well.
Run the music, Ronnie. Play the music.
It's coming.
Darling, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The highlights, the Shy Life.
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, campers. How are you? You quite like a big bang, don't you?
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. I think he has.
I love the Yeti. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps every day.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and meaty and yum.
Oh, I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life podcast.
I like that, yeah.
Marvellous, Paul.
Hi there.
And we're back. Right. So, yes, do take a seat. Was it coffee you wanted or
Where
tea?
shall I take it?
Wherever you like, but probably ought to stay in the same room. But
yes.
Tea or coffee?
Oh, could I have a decaffeinated tea, please?
Yes, and I've got some chocolate.
The pate cake biscuit.
Yes. Oh, do you want pate? Well, I've got those as well, so I'll get those sorted out. Here comes. Well, I was just trying to think who's a famous photographer or
David Bailey.
David Bailey. Here comes David Bailey.
Got all his albums.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. Well, Warren, I was hoping you'd come out with us because I wanted to get you in a photo shoot.
Oh, no, I haven't got the legs for it. That's very kind of you. I haven't got the legs for it.
Yeah, but we need to be getting on with your 2024 calendar for the fan club. Well, we'll have to do it eventually.
Yeah, my modesty prevails me from doing that today. It's a bit of a cold day out there.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time yet, Uncle John. Surely,
absolutely.
Don't need to get the calendar out yet. Well, I know, but do a few in the winter, a few in the summer. Oh, never mind.
I'd like to do the one where I'm sort of lying lengthways and I've got Easter timing and having a load of chicks around me.
Yeah,
in a way, I like that idea.
Well, yes, we can sort that out.
A large Easter egg.
Yeti Uncle John. Hello, Warren. It's me.
Hi, Cromitty. It's great to see you. Let's fist pump.
Oh,
see you.
Oh, ow. Ow.
Ow, that hurt.
Well, I'm sorry you can't come along, but maybe come and join us once you finish talking with Paul.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to, Cromitty. It's really kind of you.
Where is it you're going? Where are you doing? What's this photo shoot for, yet, Uncle John? Well, it's just practice with Cromitty. But if we get any good results, I might be able to, sell it around freelance.
Cromitty, you be careful and don't do anything that you don't want to do.
No, I will make sure he does not take advantage.
Absolutely, because he's got his wide he's got his wide angle out, and you definitely don't want that dangled in your face.
I would never take advantage. I was thinking I might.
I'm sorry, Yeti Uncle John. Did you say you would never take advantage?
Oh, right. Yeti Uncle John, when Jay the Horn Cub was here, you were getting him to do all sorts of nasty things. You made some sort of bike out of matchsticks or something, and it struck as he was going down the hill. I forgot half the things: baked beans, mud, everything. Oh, yes. Well. That won't be happening. I'm thinking of Young Farmers Weekly for some.
Yeah, I know about Young Farmers, fertilizer, all that.
Well, anyway, Paul, we're going on to the heathland. Around near the Magpie Hut. There's an old well, and we wanted to use that as a background or something. Well, be careful. Don't go mucking around anything that's dangerous, will you?
Yeah, stay away from the dangerous bits.
Well, yes, we'll try to.
I know they entice you.
Well,
leave the dangerous bits alone.
Yes, well, come on then, Cromitty. We've got to go. Leave these two boys to talk about old TV. Such a fascinating subject. Oh, it's very fascinating. Well, anyway, I'll catch up with your finished episode. Thanks, Cromitty.
Have fun, everyone. Have fun.
I was saying to Warren just before we started recording that he must come over. We not have time tonight, but we must all do a Chinese meal sometime, and we'll have everybody round. Oh, that would be nice. Yes, we like our Chinese meals. We like the fortune cookies. They always are good for plot points and ideas. Oh yes. Well, come on then. Let's go. Oh, yes, come on.
Bye.
Bye. Oh dear.
I somehow think we might be hearing more of them later. Something
tells me, but
you notice he didn't have any film in that camera.
Well, maybe he's got it concealed somewhere else in a jacket pocket or something. Just a minute, my phone's ringing now. Hello.
It's me, Martin. Martin, it's me. I mean, it is me, Martin.
Hello, Martin. Hello, Sniffy Martin. What's going on? I was about to talk to Warren.
I just wondered if Cromitty was still there.
No, they've gone off to the heath to take photos, him and Yeti Uncle John. I'd advise you to head in that direction if you want to catch up with them.
Oh, yes, I might do that. Are you going along?
Well, we're going to talk about TV first. We might go along in a bit if the weather holds.
All right. Yeah. Perhaps I should go and keep an eye, make sure your Uncle John doesn't take advantage.
That might be a good idea, Martin.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got to get talking. So.
All right. I won't get in the way. I'll see you later, maybe on the heath.
Okay. Bye now, Martin. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, and Martin's quite protective of Cromitty, and actually,
who's going on the heath to take these photographs? Gigi?
I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Right. Well, we might be able to talk about 2 years this time. I know last time when Toppy was here,
you were exposing me to 2.
Well, maybe we usually do 2, but I think when Toppy was here last time, it there was more people to chat, so it took us longer. But that was really nice. But
that was really good chat, Toppy.
I think you and I can get through 2 though. So because of course originally when Toppy was going to come separately, but then because Ick was playing around, he didn't deliver Toppy until that's why we ended up doing episodes together. The other year we were going to do, we had time, was going to be 1990, so we might as well start with 1990.
This will be an interesting year. I can't remember much about 1990 other than I think I might have been drunk a lot.
Did they make TV programs about you being drunk? Actually, Cromitty's ex, well, he isn't now his ex, Well, unless they still count as being on off. I think they're just no. I think it's just his ex.
Like a light switch on off.
No, well, I'm not sure. But anyway, I was going to say Milo. He was born in 1990, so yes, he not that he listens to this podcast, but if he did, he would hear about the TV that was being broadcast the year he was born.
90. What a year!
Well, the year started with
January.
It did. But there was a network television premiere of the 1985 romantic drama Out of Africa. That sounds like a...
Is that the film that's based in the departure lounge of an African airport?
I'm not sure. I've never seen it. I don't think so.
No, I've never seen it either. I've heard the music because it's John Williams and the music's beautiful.
It's got Robert Redford and Meryl Streep. Is that really a very... I don't know. I'm not sure how much...
Redford was just coming to the end of his sort of heartthrob era, wasn't he? Really,
is it a New Year's Day sort of film? Is it? Well, the other film that made its debut was a 1984 film, and I think it's quite well known as being a bit of a turkey. It was
like a good turkey.
It was the sequel to Grease. It was Grease 2.
With none of the original casting. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the turkey that was thrown out a very high-rise vehicle, a high-rise building that did not fly.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Gumdy ground.
I'm not sure.
Splat.
It was those were necessarily the New Year's Day treats that people would have been looking for. But although I think Out of Africa is probably a good film, but again, whether it's quite the film you want to watch on New Year's Day. But there we go.
Well, if you got the hangover on New Year's Day, you're just going to put the telly on for company, aren't you? And solace, and to see how and to rate how bad your hangover is. I think 1990, I may well have just moved up to London, and I did something silly. I went to Trafalgar Square. I always wanted to go to Trafalgar Square and see New Year's Day, and it was really boring. It was really boring. We didn't have fireworks then. There was nothing exciting that.
Because 1990 was around the time when we still saw you sometimes in Salisbury, or roughly around that time. And I think it was in 1993. Nick and Keith went up, and they did the same thing, and then had to sort of kill time until the first train back. And then I've done it one or two times. I think I might have done it in 94 with Nick. But I said to him, because everybody used to wait in. I think things have changed a bit. Well, of course, with
they're all down by the Thames.
They're all by the Thames now. But a lot of people used to go to Trafalgar Square, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I just said to Nick, because that's what he had probably done in 93, and I said to him, why don't people stand by Big Ben where they can see the clock? I know you can sort of, if you've got the right angle, you can see the clock from Square.
You can just about hear it.
But I said I don't think I was that sure about being in Trafalgar Square. I wanted, because I had my video camera and I was doing Sutton Park by then, so he agreed, and we went to Big Ben, and we stood on like a traffic island, and very few people were there by Big Ben, and so it was just. I mean, I guess it depends how much you want to interact with other revelers, which I certainly didn't want to. Nick was much more sociable in that sort of way, but
from when I started my job in sort of early 2000s, I was always working Piccadilly Circus on New Year's Eve, and we were interacting with revelers a lot, but not in the way you'd expect.
Yeah. Funny thing is, whatever year it was when I next did it, later in the 90s, we went back to Big Ben, and it was a lot more popular venue by then, because it was somewhere between the mid-90s and because it was after the millennium where it started to focus on the Thames and the fireworks.
Because you had to buy tickets to go and see the fireworks show and everything, when you could actually watch it for free. Because I stayed at my mum's, and she lives around the corner from Houses of Parliament, where she worked. So New Year's Eve, we used to go up. I used to go and visit my mum if I wasn't working, and we used to sit on the roof garden, and we'd have a free fireworks show.
Yeah, well, Callum, he worked in the House of Parliament, and at one point around 2000, his office was at the base of Big Ben, and so I think for 2000 he was having, because of course there was the Y2K thing then, or they didn't know whether
we're waiting for all the planes to drop out the sky.
Yeah. So he had to work on New Year's Eve 2000, but basically that meant he could go and stand on the roof and watch the fireworks. And I think the only time
I think that was the beginning of the big fireworks display was 2000.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I think the only time I've been and watched since the firework thing and the charging was I had friends who lived in Vauxhall or near Vauxhall, and I think we went and watched it from Vauxhall Bridge, which they weren't charging that far down, and it was just as good watching it for free from there. But anyway, the other thing that started on New Year's Day 1990 was, and I quote the Wikipedia page, the iconic sitcom Mr. Bean began. It was the first episode of Mr. Bean, which I think I probably watched back then, but it would never occur to me to watch it now.
I never watched it back then. I'm probably one of the few people who's never sat through Mr. Bean. I've never been overly excited about Rowan Atkinson. When I watch Blackadder, I watch it more for the supporting characters, because Rowan Atkinson's characters and the way he acts when he does his comedy characters is very predictable. I like the people around him. They're far more interested than Slackbladder was. But I never really watched a Mr. Bean.
He must have gone into, because was the last season of Blackadder 89 or was it 88?
No, you're asking. I couldn't tell you that. Yeah. I know what they did.
I feel like it. Oh yeah, 89. I sort of remember it being on around the same time as the last. Well, that time, what turned out to be the last season 26 of Doctor Who. I feel like there were either trailers or it was on immediately afterwards, or it was, it may have just been trailers, but I sort of connected to.
Technically, Blackadder lived through to 2000, didn't they?
Oh, they did sort of Children Needy type things.
No, they did the Millennium Dome show that they showed, didn't they? Back and forth.
I don't think I ever saw it. That, but I always think of it finishing in, sort of in 89. But I guess there was other things. But
he was Edmund Blackadder was ranked 3rd on the list of 100 great TV characters. And so, who is number 1? We ask ourselves.
Probably
I
Mr.
don't know,
Blobby or
because it will not
Blobby.
bring up the list.
Probably Mr. Blobby.
Let's have a look.
Probably Del Boy.
Oh, no. Probably. Here we go. Let's have a look. Top 10 characters. It's not opening it. I love technology. Isn't it fantastic? It's just giving me a list of the PV programs that there were 100 greatest World Cup moments. That was good. I slept all the way through that one.
Well, other things that, of course, this is the thing. I have covered some bits of 1990 because I've been talking in a very slow time about my 1990 diary. We've got one thing coming up which I was mentioned in my diary, so I must have seen it. But it's not. It's a couple of mentions ahead, but we'll get there in a minute. Oh, this is a very boring fact. On the 2nd of January, Granada's flagship nightly news programme, Granada Reports, is rebranded as Granada Tonight.
Woohoo! London went through that thing, didn't it, where it became London Tonight. So perhaps it was sort of a thing then to call it Tonight. I can't remember them calling it down here Southampton Tonight or Bramford Forum Tonight. Doesn't have the same ring. Accrington Stanley Tonight.
Now, I don't think I realised that this show went on as I probably was only vaguely aware of it more. I wasn't, well, on the 2nd of January, the first episode of the 6th season of Teabag airs, and I remember there being some show about a witch and things, but I wouldn't have been watching TV, even probably kids TV, even when it was the first season, let alone the 6th season. Although I guess if my brother was watching it and I happened to be at home, I might have seen it. What I didn't know, what I do remember about Teabag is that the Teabag character was played by Elizabeth Estenson. But what I didn't know is that she left after the 5th season, and there was a new witchy character. Well, I think they were witches, but they were certainly
Georgina Hale. Sorry,
Georgina Hale. Yeah. So she played it. There were 91 episodes and 9 seasons plus 4 Christmas specials. So
pretty key. The name of the program would have put me off.
I just don't remember that I just didn't realise it went on for 9 years. But,
wow. Tea bags were very popular.
It went from 1985 until late 1992.
Take Off with Teabag.
That was
the last. This is the last series in 1992.
Each season seems to have a different sort of subtitle or what Wonders in Letterland.
I quite like Teabag's Christmas Ding Dong. I wonder if that's still available under the counter. Or the Teabag and the Rings of Olympus. Somebody's really having a joke there, I can tell you.
The 3rd of January, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Oh, not Ninja. They're heroes now, are they? Oh.
They were heroes. We weren't allowed to be ninjas, were they?
Are they ninjas because ninja makes them sound like bad people, but heroes make them sound good? Well,
they had weapons like nunchucks and things, and
I like Chinese food as well.
I think they had to do says the intro sequence is heavily edited because of this, replacing the word ninja with hero or fighting, using a digitally faded logo instead of the animated blob, and removing any scenes in which the character Michelangelo wields his nunchucks.
Get a load of me Michelangelo's nunchucks. I've seen better.
Now, on the 4th of January, this is the series I remember, well, from my diary that it started. One Foot in the Grave started on the 4th of January 1990.
Really?
And I do remember I was mentioned in my diary that I'd seen this new series called One Foot in the Grave, but I don't think I was necessarily I watched every episode. I think I saw some, but I think I was only probably.
I saw some, but I also watched. I did watch the last episode, and I have passed the location of where he was run over by the car, and there's a little plaque there.
Yeah,
because that's in Hampshire.
Yeah,
by the railway station.
Yeah, I think I saw. And there was that one where the donkey wees in the pool. Well, just wee makes it sound quite delicate.
It defecates in the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Angus Deaton in that when he was still acceptable.
Yeah. There's quite a few new things that start around this time, or we start to show in the UK that have been around for a bit longer. Baywatch starts on the 6th of January.
That has its points.
Well, it says the series came to an end in 2001 following an 11-year run. I wonder if because the thing I've always wanted, I was never interested in Baywatch. I don't think I've ever seen a whole episode, but I was kind of interested in the there was a spin-off series called Baywatch Nights, and I think that was sort of more science fiction-y. Well, I think it was sort of science fiction-y, and I'm sure they were like maybe even like werewolves, or I mean, it was still was it still? Oh yeah, David Hasselhoff's character. He was still in it. I think. Yes, he was still in it. He was still the main character, but it ran for 2 seasons, full length seasons. But it was more of a. I think it ran from 95 to 97. I think a little bit inspired by X-Files and things like that. It was more science fiction-y. I just think it's probably. I just think I would probably, in a way, like to see some of that, because it's probably going to be a real car crash, but probably.
It's got, well, yeah. I mean, this is the series that launched Pamela Anderson, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a, I don't know how you would like to, and Erica.
Yeah,
and I don't know how you'd like to describe those two people. I would say they before they started on Baywatch, they used to stop trains for a living.
The weird thing.
Never seen their feet since they were 13.
There's 242 episodes of Baywatch.
Oh Lord, and it's just the same thing, isn't it? It's slow motion people running across the beach and things going in all directions.
Apparently there's some episodes about serial killers. I'd probably like to see any of the serial killer episodes.
I think those were the actors.
Oh, right. I think there's one or two.
There was a reunion in 2003.
Yeah, there's one or two people off Australian soaps that ended up over there as well. There's at least one or two people who were in Sons and Daughters who, the younger characters who ended up as members of. I guess there's always been that thing with Australia where people leave and sort of head for America to hope. And you think, actually, is it really worth it? You think you're probably. So I always feel sad when, like, I would rather be like a main character in Neighbours or something than go to America and be somebody who sits at a desk and you get a couple of moments on screen. You've just gone from being a main character to being somebody in the background in an American show. It must be really.
Must be galling, yeah.
Galling. I would much rather stay and be the main character in the Australian show. But anyway.
The Hoff is 70 years old.
Yeah. Oh. And it was thanks to him that the Berlin Wall came down, wasn't it? Sort of.
I'm so sorry.
He was there singing some sort of, because he had that big fan base in Germany.
Oh, yes, he did. He was very big in Germany, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I like the way they wave.
And he apparently started on The Young and the Restless, which was
poor group of people that they are, the Young and the Restless.
Which
we forget he had a singing career, don't we? Really,
I think that's a daytime. So
and out of absolute pure panic and trying to escape, the only way through was to East Berlin, so they smashed the wall down so they could get away from him.
That's not the official version. The same day as Baywatch started in the UK, we have Jekyll and Hyde, the Michael Caine and Cheryl Ladd made-for-television film. That was also on ITV.
That was running off the back of the success of Michael Caine's Jack the Ripper, wasn't it? I remember that. I think it's only been shown once.
I've seen the Jack the Ripper one, I think, but I haven't seen the Jekyll and Hyde one. What's Cheryl Ladd doing? What would she have been doing because she's American? What would she have been doing in the East End of London?
Oh, I bet she would be playing an actress.
Maybe. I presume it's set in London, and maybe it wasn't even set in London. But
I'm having a look for you now because I do remember watching it. It was another ITV job. Michael Caine, Cheryl Ladd, Josh Ackland. Let's see what we can see about her, because it's a name I suppose it's a big name, isn't it? That would sell abroad, and because being one of the ex Charlie's Angels.
Yes, yeah. I just wonder how they worked in that she was over here, but I suppose, as you say, maybe a touring actress or something. And which one was Jack? Was Michael Caine I imagine Michael Caine being a detective investigating, or was he Jekyll and Hyde?
I believe he was Jekyll and Hyde. I'm just taking a look now. It is on YouTube apparently.
Oh, blimey!
But we don't say go watch YouTube. We say buy it.
As if it's available. Now, on the 8th of January, there's a kids show called Dudley the Elephant, which involves Tony Robinson and Lulu. Who thought?
I was about to do an elephant impression, but it doesn't work on radio.
Who knew that Lulu and Tony Robinson had worked together?
Well, there's a mixture.
Makes you want to shout, doesn't it? Really?
Oh no!
One of the episodes is called Nellie Rescues. And
I'm sorry, but before you go any further, I need to ask you: do you actually like her singing?
I like some of her songs, but only some of them. I like Man with the Golden Gun. I know that's not the most popular of the Bond themes, but I think it's.
To Sir with Love is very good, isn't it?
Yeah, and boat that rocks, or whatever it's called, or something like that. One or two of her songs.
Don't come and knock it when the boats are rocking.
No, and when she turns up in that version of Relight My Fire, that's about the most exciting thing that Take That had done to that point. But that's not saying much. This episode of Nellie the Elephant, I misread the title and I thought it said Nellie rescues Miss Marple's Moggy, but it's actually Mrs. Maple's Moggy. But
Joan Hickson's Moggy is in danger. Can Nellie save it?
I thought, well, I wasn't aware that Miss Marple had a pussy, but there we go.
It's an inquiring pussy.
Have you ever heard of the Secret Cabaret? An innovative and
I've not been to that club, no.
It's an innovative and shocking magic-based program hosted by magician Simon Drake. That's on Channel 4. I've never heard of it.
Amazing farting duck.
Yes, maybe. Yes, it probably would be. 14th of January, The Observer reports that TVS has started searching for a buyer for a 49% stake in US production company MTM Enterprises, which it bought in 1988.
MTM used to make, before it was bought out by them, it's an American company, isn't it? Used to make Hill Street Blues.
No, I didn't know anything about that. Between the end of January and the beginning of February, the BBC broadcast the 1990 Commonwealth Games, and that's all we're going to say about that. But it has been noted.
Why would anybody want to throw a hammer? What does it achieve?
I guess MC Hammer might.
I can understand sort of throwing a javelin because that's sort of primeval hunting.
Yeah.
But lobbing a claw hammer or a tack hammer, I don't get it. And spinning round and round, really?
It'll make you dizzy. If you just had your dinner, you might be sick.
Oh, you could get the whole of the crowd, couldn't you, if you were sick?
Apparently, on the 27th of January, the final episode of Bob's Full House is broadcast on BBC One. Bob's Full House, for those who don't know, was a quiz show based on the game of bingo. It ran from 1984 until 1990.
It's interesting how we just reinvent the most simplest of games, isn't it? It's Crisscross Quiz is the same sort of thing, isn't it? It's a bingo type game, but yeah, something like that is bingo. How do we make bingo new? Well, we make the prizes rubbish, but we give it Bob Monkhouse.
Is that
Gimbal?
Is that what he did when he after he'd left Family Fortunes? I'm not quite sure.
Yes, I quite enjoyed Bob Monkhouse doing Family Fortunes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's sort of the era that I watched it. Again, did I watch it every week? I can't remember, but I certainly did watch it.
Name 5 items you would take on holiday. The family.
I saw somebody post on Facebook today.
Family Feuds, it was called, wasn't it, in the States or something similar?
Yeah. That I don't know whether it's been repeated somewhere, but one of the Les Dennis episodes, I saw 2 or 3 people posting a screenshot where it was name a topping of pizza, and the woman had said turnips or something.
That's very topical at the moment.
Oh, well, unless it's some joke and it didn't actually happen. It's because it's topical. Maybe somebody. You never know.
It's a nervous player. I remember the nervous player who kept saying turkey all the time. And he kept giggling because he was really, really nervous, and he just kept saying turkey because his brain had dried and he was quite scared of being on telly, and he just kept saying turkey all the time.
31st of January. Now, they should have showed this on New Year's Day. This would have been much more appropriate for a New Year's Day. The network television premiere of my favourite James Bond film. Let's just say it. A View to a Kill. I love View to a Kill. It's got Patrick Macnee in. It's got
Patrick Macnee is probably younger than James Bond at this point.
It's also got Tanya Roberts. That's another Charlie's Angels person.
And they've got the extremely versatile. But she doesn't have a car coming out of her mouth. Do you remember those adverts?
Is this Tanya Roberts or
no? This is Grace Jones.
Grace Jones. Yeah.
She used to have that solid haircut that would go straight up, and there was a Renault advert where her head would appear in the desert, and her mouth would open and a car would drive out. That's what I knew her for. That and hitting Russell Harty, but there was a queue for that at the time.
Yeah.
Was there not?
I think I used to do a bad impression of him. Yeah, I like View to a Kill. I also like the Grand
Really? I mean, really? Driving half a Renault 11 round Paris? I don't think so.
Well, yeah.
Basically, Patrick Macnee was playing Steed again.
Yeah.
Patrick Macnee always plays Steed.
But he gets killed, which makes it very sad.
Yeah, but he goes in a good way, doesn't he?
He was in the back of a car into a
Back of the car with Grace Jones.
Yeah.
What a way to go.
Another thing that happens in January 1990, for the first time, Emmerdale is networked across all of ITV. I didn't realise that it wouldn't have already have been by that point. I mean, that seems like...
Is that Emmerdale or Emmerdale Farm?
Just called Emmerdale at this point, apparently. So...
A needle-pulling thread.
Oh, apparently this is...
Is that a surprising remark, or
it's a bit
just a wince in pain?
Well, I would have been at school at this time, and I'm not aware of this. It says the BBC Schools gay-themed television film Two of Us is given its first daytime showing on BBC Two. It's shown in 2 parts over consecutive Friday lunchtime.
Sorry, that's cheeky. Sorry, that just slipped in, as I said in the episode.
Apparently, it had previously been shown, but late at night in March 1988. They obviously didn't show it at my school anyway. But,
I can't remember them. Well, I wouldn't have been at school then. I'd have been 20, so I might have been hanging around the school, but I wasn't.
It confronted the Thatcherite government's attempt to ban gay sex education in schools.
Oh, was that Rule 28 or something along those lines, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
Well, probably wouldn't have if they were trying to stop it being it being on. Kathy Burke was in it. She played someone called Vera. 5th of January, Sky Movies is fully encrypted and becomes Sky's first Bay channel.
That's interesting. When I first moved up to London, I had a Skybox, and I had, like a lot of people, had a counterfeit Sky card. Perhaps I shouldn't say that. But do you remember the days where you used to have to put a card in there, and it was sent to you every 6 months, wasn't it?
My parents had Sky at that point, and I remember there being some sort of card.
I remember watching the LA riots live on Sky News. Myself and my flatmate sat up to watch that.
On the 11th of February, there was live coverage of Nelson Mandela's release from prison, and also the same day, a big boxing fight between Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas.
Buster Budvessel.
And on the 13th of February,
he rested.
Quantum Leap made its debut on BBC Two. I used to like Quantum Leap.
So did I.
Although by the time it was on its last season, I think I was at university, and I have a feeling that the last episode was one of those episodes. I like a series to end in a way that you can kind of just watch it, and even if you don't know what's going on, you can enjoy it. I remember I'd never seen Dynasty, but I watched the last episode when I knew that was finishing, and you could watch that. I didn't need to know the characters. People were falling off balconies, getting buried underground. I knew enough to know, that's Alexis, or that. It was really enjoyable, and I think when it came back for its miniseries a year or two later, I watched it then. But I tried to watch when Dallas finished. I thought, I'll watch the end of that. But that was really, you needed to know what's going on, and I think Quantum Leap, it went back to like a particular episode from the first season, and even though I'd watched a great deal of it, maybe interrupted a little bit by university, so I may have missed some. I found it very sort of, who's this again? It wasn't like an episode that I'd remembered enjoying particularly the first time round. So I think that could be a bit of a mistake. But also, the 15th of February, The Crystal Maze makes its debut on Channel 4.
Quite a lot of Crystal Maze.
Quite a lot of series that were very big in the 90s.
I'll be back in a moment, Mumsy. Got to see the people taken round the maze.
Yes. Of course, yes. It was presented by Richard O'Brien, who's known for creating Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I love Rocky Horror. I think it was the 1990s that I first went to Rocky Horror. Of course, you dress up, and we dressed up and got thrown out of Pizza Hut. Apparently, they don't like men in high heels and fishnet tights in 1990 at Pizza Hut, just off Leicester Square.
I don't think I've ever seen it on stage.
What fishnights and high heel stockings? I've got some pictures for you.
Oh, cool. The documentary series Cutting Edge made its debut on. Well, it says it's made its debut on Channel 4, but was it?
BBC Cutting Edge, but it may well. No, you're right. Channel 4. Just
banned from 1990 to 2017, focusing on political and social issues. On the 20th of February, Steve McFadden makes his first appearance as the EastEnders Phil Mitchell.
Ross Kemp, M25 in. Oh no, that's his other.
Ross Kemp's debut as his brother. Ross Kemp's debut as his brother Grant would air 2 days later. Isn't Steve McFadden still in the EastEnders?
Yeah, it's because he's such a rubbish actor. He just plays one character.
Yeah, I think hasn't he sort of come and gone at different times, but he's.
So I've heard. Yes. Yeah.
I think we're only going to get through 1 year again. There's quite a lot going on.
Sorry.
I think we'll do. No, there's just quite a lot of things. I think we'll go to 6 months and then
we'll in.
Because the listeners will want to know what's going on with the photo doodles as well. So
yeah.
The final episode of Blankety Blank, presented by Les Dawson, is broadcast.
No!
On the 12th of March 1990, although it returned in 97 with Lily Savage. On the 25th of March, we've just passed Milo's birthday, I think earlier in the month, but British Satellite Broadcasting launches BSB.
Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a rival to Sky. They had that Doctor Who weekend, didn't they?
They did, yeah. That really weird.
Yeah. And then there was also. Oh, I thought this was on Sky B, or BSB. Go, because Sky took it. Sky bought it out, didn't they? Because they turned it into Sky B.
I think they all got taken out by Sky. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it says on the 26th of March, the science fiction soap Jupiter Moon makes its debut, but that's on the Galaxy Channel. I thought that was a BSB show, but
because Galaxy didn't they have weird shaped?
Was it the Galaxy Channel which was the Doctor Who weekend, or was it that?
Oh no, it was. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, it is. Yes, it is the Galaxy Channel. You're quite right. No, yes.
One of my friends videoed me some episodes of Jupiter Moon. I mean, if it had been on BBC, I probably would have actually watched it because it was pretty awful. But I only got to see some episodes, so I didn't. I was interested to see what it was like, but it was very cheap to have it. I mean, but that's at least it's along the right lines. It's like I was saying recently. It's a shame that Crossroads didn't become like our version of Dark Shadows and have a few more vampires in it. I think British soaps are a little bit straight-laced.
They're very
bit tame. I mean, there's quite a lot of American ones that are a bit more exciting, or have weird plot lines, but not so much with. And again, with the Australian ones, I like that there's more serial killers and weirdness, and a lot of our soaps are quite tame. And at least Jupiter Moon, no matter how sort of poor it might have been, at least it was a science fiction soap. Which I just don't understand. Why don't they try and be a bit more exciting with our soaps? 27th of March, BBC airs the first of 2 flashback episodes of EastEnders as part of a storyline in which Diane Butcher, played by Sophie Lawrence, ran away from home. I sort of remember. I think that's probably the era I was watching EastEnders. I remember.
Pat
character.
Pat.
I've just read Pam St. Clement's autobiography. I enjoyed it, but I'm 100% sure why I bought it. I know she was mentioned in another biography I read, or autobiography I read, and perhaps I quite like doing that. Sometimes you read one off autobiography and somebody else comes up and you think, I quite like to read about them now. 31st of March, Opportunity Knocks returns to BBC One for the 1990 series with its original title and with Les Dawson as its host. I didn't know that. So was that why he left Blankety Blank? I don't know.
I think he was probably on Opportunity Knocks actually.
Oh,
says right. As a that's where his career started. If memory serves me right.
Oh yes, it says it was.
Doesn't.
Yeah, it says it was originally hosted by Huey Green, with a late 1980s revival hosted by Bob Monkhouse.
That's easy for you to say.
And later by previous winner Les Dawson. I didn't realise that Bob was involved with that as well.
No.
What else have we got? The Australian children's science fiction comedy Round the Twist makes its UK debut. The other description says it's a supernatural series. I don't really remember it. I don't really think of it being a. I wasn't really watching kids' TV by then, but I think I might have at least been aware of Round the Twist. I mean, I was still in sort of. I did my GCSEs in 1990, and then was in sixth form. So it's not impossible that I would have come home from school and seen the odd episode, particularly if it was Australian and Neighbours was big, was still big in 1990. So, what else have we got? Skipping a bit, there was a special edition of Wogan in April.
Never mind.
Where he gave viewers a rare chance to see the ice skaters, dancers, Jane Torville and Christopher Dean performing. Apparently,
do you remember the weird episode of Wogan where there weren't any guests because the guests hadn't turned up? They booked a couple of American famous actors, and their plane hadn't landed, and so he had to go round and show how the program was filmed. Quite literally, he had a camera following him round, and you saw the production team. You went up in the production box, and you met the makeup people, and he was desperately trying to pad it out for 30 minutes.
You think you would have done that, but then had, well, depending when it was, like whoever was around, like Philip Schofield or Noel Edmonds or somebody who was doing some other show, you'd think he'd bump into a few celebrities as he was doing it. But perhaps it was so short notice they couldn't even do that. But you'd think they could have padded it out by bumping into a few people who you'd see behind the scenes at the BBC. But
I don't think I'd want to bump into Noel Edmonds.
Well, no, but for the point of making the programme. But in 19th of April, 1990, the sketch Modern Mother and Daughter, which is a sketch on French and Saunders, and it's also the basis of Absolutely Fabulous. So it's sort of what inspired it. So so about a couple of years before. Because I think Jennifer Saunders sort of played the Adina character, and I think Dawn played the sort of Julia Sohala character, the daughter. My friend Harry and I were quite keen on French and Saunders at that time. So Saunders, Raw Sex. Their backing band was called Raw Sex.
Raw Sex, yes.
Yes. And they looked very ropey, like wearing string vests. I think I might have had a bit of a crush on Roland Riveron, but even looking like that,
really?
I'm not going to
take yourself out to the corridor and have a word with yourself.
He was a hairy boy. You could see in his string vest. It was very erotic. That's what all 16-year-old boys were fantasizing about in those days.
Was it? I wasn't Roland Riveron for me, I can assure you.
Well, just me, probably. The BBC reverts to airing just one summer Saturday morning magazine show and replaces On the Waterfront and Up to You with a new show, the 8:15 from Manchester.
Oh, that sounds worth. What time was it on?
10 o'clock.
Running late as always.
I think 8:15 from Manchester is the one where they showed repeats of Rent-A-Ghost. I recorded quite a lot of episodes of that back in the day. I think they started sort of from after the famous episodes, after the original team had left. Anyway, the early seasons. The final episode of You Bet, presented by Bruce Forsyth, is broadcast on ITV. That's another panel game or quiz game. What was the difference between You Bet and...
I can't place it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The British game show that aired on ITV between February 1988 and April 1997. Initially with Bruce Forsyth, then with Matthew Kelly, and then with Darren Day. It's amazing. Some of these quiz games that used to be, or game shows that used to be prime time, then sort of turn up as sort of daytime shows. Things like Blockbusters, which used to be on quite prime time-ish, or at least on the edge of prime time. But then I think it came back on like in different forms, and each time it was less and less famous or more obscure channels or times. British Satellite Broadcasting launches on satellite television on the 29th of April. What's the difference between that other mention of them? Don't know, maybe they were formed, but they weren't actually showing things.
They weren't fully formed.
May the 5th, 1990, the Eurovision Song Contest. Italy won.
With the rest of the world, nil.
Yeah.
Now, a roundup from your area of the sports results.
The song was called Together 1992. I was up because of...
Sorry, that makes no...
But yeah, because it wasn't anywhere near... I wonder if it was something to do with, like, the EU or something. But because that was 92. But, I mean, this is 1990. I mean, they're a bit early. Apparently, about the only thing that's notable for this year is there was a technical fault with Spain's entry. That sounds scintillating. The broadcasting bill, is that exciting or not? Probably doesn't sound that exciting. It's they're probably busy trying to stop something or be horrible to somebody. 19th of May, Helen Rollason becomes the first female presenter of Grandstand.
Oh yes, yep. I'm saying yes because I know Grandstand. I can't place Helen Rollason.
Well, I think I can, but I think she was known for Newsround.
Now I know who you mean. Yeah.
She's dead. Didn't know she was dead.
She's dead. We're moving on.
Well, did I know? Did I know she was dead? I don't think I knew she was dead. She died when she was 43.
Good Lord.
She died in 1997, though. So perhaps I knew, but I hadn't heard her name for a long time, and that's why. But on the 25th of May, the anarchic cult comedy series Vic Reeves' Night Out makes its debut on Channel 4.
Hey! You like a bit of Vic Reeves?
I do, but I think I suppose I was very much into my Victoria Wood and French and Saunders, and I remember people like Nick and Troby being really into Vic Reeves, but I struggled a bit to start with to get into it.
It was right on my wavelength.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it. I later got into them more, but when I remember, not quite getting it to start with. I linked onto things like wasn't there a man with walnuts or chestnuts on his face, and he looked a bit like a Lost in Space monster. So I tried to grip onto things like that.
I would have thought it had been right up your street.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just a bit too
very
strange.
Very tart.
I think, I was only a little boy in those days. I was only a youngster.
No, I've seen the pictures.
There's a special episode of Coronation Street, but it's part of a telethon.
Oh, right.
It's when Hilda Ogden comes back for a special visit.
Goes back for the dead.
I have a feeling that.
I have a feeling I saw that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they had to sort of make a special effort to kind of keep that, because they've got virtually everything of Coronation Street. I think because it's something that happens, I guess, a bit like the Doctor Who thing on Children in Need. It's sort of part of the history of Doctor Who, even though it's not really canon. And I guess you could say that this. I don't know. I guess it counts. It probably does count. In this case, it probably does count as a proper episode of Coronation Street, but it's probably not necessarily kept in the same box as all the other episodes. So we'll do to June, and then I think we'll try and give Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John a call and see how they're doing.
Yeah, they're doing. It's a bit worrying that we haven't heard from them.
Yeah. 1st of June, the game show, the $64,000 question.
Yeah,
makes its debut on ITV, presented by Bob Monkhouse. So he's jumped channels.
Bob will go where the money is.
That's probably what happened. Yeah, because he did Opportunity Knocks and left that, and he stopped doing Bob's Full House. It's probably because he got signed up to change channels. But But then again, he was on ITV with Family Fortunes earlier, so he's probably jumping backwards and forwards. Opportunity Knocks, talking about that, Opportunity Knocks ends after 4 seasons after the 1990 final on the 2nd of June. Oh dear. The BBC and ITV...
Oh dear, I'm bracing myself for this.
8th of June to the 8th of July, BBC and ITV provide television coverage of the 1990 FIFA World Cup. Moving on.
Kicking a pig's bladder up and down a field, I don't know.
15th of June, the long-running children's arts and crafts series Art Attack makes its debut.
Art Attack?
On Children's ITV. That's presented by Neil Buchanan, who was he involved in... Was he on How? But he was also on number 73.
I think he was 73, down at 73. Boom. I think so.
Because he wasn't... it just says he was on something called Finders Keepers, but that's not the... Because there was another show called Finders Keepers on BBC One with Richard Stilgoe, I think, but that was in the 80s.
Yeah. Didn't that come on after Nationwide?
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, he was on number 73 for the first few years. Then he went on to present Motormouth. These were TVS Saturday morning programs.
Yeah, these are TVS. This would be our region.
And then Art Attack and other things. Because I think that's one of the few programs that was on. Because by then, because Tony Hart used to do all the arty type programs on the BBC.
On the BBC, yeah.
That became quite the alternative, or on the opposite channel. But Pages from CFAX is shown after 10 a.m. for the first time. Woohoo!
Rip roaring stuff.
More sporty things. I can't focus.
Can you not focus with people in shorts?
Well, that's a different reason.
Different shaped balls. That's rugby, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah. Last 2 things before we give them a call. 24th of June, the network television premiere of The Terminator on BBC Two.
BBC Two?
You'd think that would be BBC One. Apparently, it was part of Moviedrome.
Yes. Yeah.
Listeners, Moviedrome was a sort of cult film series that where a guy would... Alex Cox, the director Alex Cox, used to introduce the films. I think it went on far longer than I realised. It went on from 88 to 2000.
Wasn't he Scottish, Alex Cox?
I can't remember. I think he made films in America, though, so I think it was all a bit confusing. Apparently, he didn't do it for the whole time, but I remember... Let me have a look. I can tell you what films I remember them showing. I remember them showing The Man with the X-Ray Eyes.
It's an old one.
And... it was the first one in the 1989 season. It's it's a film from 1963 with Ray Milland. And the one they showed the following week was the Jabberwocky.
I love Jabberwocky.
Yeah. You could probably do a whole episode just about all the films they showed on Moviedrome, but I'm surprised that Terminator was sort of relegated to BBC Two. You'd think that would be... this became such a famous film, maybe it wasn't so famous.
No, it did exceptionally well.
And the 28th of June, the sitcom Waiting for God makes its debut on BBC One.
Now, that got a bit of a panning to begin with, but it turned out to be quite a little classic, didn't it?
Yeah, that went for 4 seasons. Certainly ran for 5 seasons.
That's Stephanie Cole, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Swanage.
Yeah, it ran from 1990 to 1994. It's set in a fictional retirement home near Bournemouth. But
all filmed in Swanage, that was.
I probably didn't see that much of that either, partly because at least the last 2 or 3 seasons would have been when I was at university, and I didn't have that great TV reception, or I was sort of having to watch what other people I was doing. Yeah. Well, we'll come back to 1990. I'm just going to give them a call. Just bear with me. What's going on? Paul, why are you calling me? I'm busy with Cromitty. Yeah, we just wanted to know if you were all right. Are you coming down? Well, we're taking a little bit longer to get through 1990. It's not like some of those years we've done before where nothing happens. In fact, too many things are happening. It's been difficult to work out what not to talk about. Oh, well, this is fascinating. No, everything's fine. I've just taken some photos. I've done quite a lot. So, well, get down here when you finish. We will. Has Martin shown up yet? Martin? Yeah, Sniffy Martin. He gave me a call. He was worried about Cromitty. I told him where you were, and he said he'd come down and sort of keep an eye on you. Oh, charming. No, I've not seen him. If he turns up, that's why. He's on his way, but perhaps he's been delayed. Oh, all right. Well, you better get back to your episode. All right, we will, and we'll come down afterwards. Yeah. Should we bring some food or something, or bring some biscuits, or something? Bring something. We might go for a pizza, perhaps. Ooh. All right. Oh dear. Okay, I'll let you get on. All right. Oh, Yeti Uncle John. Who was that? Oh, it's just Paul bothering us. Apparently your mate Martin's coming. What do you mean, my mate? He's our mate. Yeah, well, apparently he's coming down because he doesn't trust me. I've been very good at taking photos of you, haven't I? Well, yes, you have. Well, worse. Well, I'm just going to do a few more anyway. I want you to sit on the edge of the well. Oh, really? Yes, it'll be fine. It's all sealed up, isn't it? Well, I don't know. It looks there's some wood, but I sort of covering the top of it, but it looks very well. Well, I'm not telling you to go down it, for goodness sake. Just sit on the edge of it. Pose, you know. Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, that's right. There we go. It's very nice. Is that all right? Yes, yes, it's fine. Oh, right. Yeah, but just back a bit. Just lean back a bit.
Tweet.
Oh, what's that?
Tweet.
It's just the birds. It's just the birds. It's fine.
Tweet.
He's a very deep voiced bird. Tweet. Well, tweet. It's that time of year, isn't it?
Tweet.
Anyway, just lean back. I'm leaning back. No, a bit more. Just show a bit of leg. Yeti Uncle John. I'm just. Yeti Uncle John. Oh, Cromitty, have you fallen down the well? Cromitty, you all right? I fell down the well. Oh dear. I told you you'd get me into trouble. Are you all right? Well, it's not as deep as it looks. I think I might have hurt my ankle though. Oh dear. No, it isn't as deep as I thought it was. It's still too deep for me to climb out. Don't worry, I'll help you out. Just see if I can find a stick or something, or a bit of string. String isn't going to be enough, Yeti Uncle John. Oh dear, I should never have agreed to this. Just a minute, I've got some rope. I'm going to chuck it down. Should I wait till Martin gets here? Oh no, I think there's a frog down here. I'm scared. Oh dear. Look, hold this rope. I can't quite reach it. It's above my head. Just a minute. I'll stretch down. I'll stretch down. Yeah. Now pull the rope. Oh, all right. I'm pulling the rope. No.
Tweet.
Oh dear, Yeti Uncle John. Now you're in the well. Oh, my poor head. Oh dear. We're going to have to stay here forever. No, we're not. Oh, are you all right? You nearly squashed me. My poor ankle. My poor everything. Oh, my poor head. Oh, hopefully Martin will be here soon, or if not Martin, then Paul and Warren will show up. Oh, dear. This never happened to David Bailey. He never fell down a well. Oh, dear. Should we shout? I don't know. Oh, help! 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 Oh, help! Should we shout at the same time? I don't know if that's possible unless Paul double tracks us. Oh, yes, good point. Help! Help! Help!
August, but
doing their photoing.
Do they?
No, we'll get the year done and then we'll show up. So on to July 1990. Countdown celebrates its 1,000th episode, and the cookery show MasterChef begins, presented by Lloyd Grossman. I would live in a place like this. That sounds like a Uncle John. He's somebody I used to do an impression of him as well. Not as better than I do now, but the Tavernier family arrive in EastEnders. Hattie, played by Michelle Gale, was their first. Well, I don't think it was the first black family, but yes, Celestine and Etta and Clyde. This definitely is what I was watching because I recognise all the faces in that family. Jules, the grandfather. 6th of July, Channel 4 introduces a third weekly episode of Brookside. How much longer did it last? It went into 2003. I think I watched the last episode of that, but I didn't remember it lasting. I guess it was in the late 90s when there was all that stuff. The really controversial
program on Brookside, and the houses they bought, because they bought the close, which is actually now called Brookside Close. They let the houses literally just left them deteriorate, and it was sold to a housing developer who's kept the houses and has just ripped them out and rebuilt them inside, and it looks just like the television program does from the outside, except in modern day.
It was slightly short of 3,000 episodes. There's quite a few shows I like that really reach quite relatively big either episode numbers or anniversaries, and nobody at the station thought to kind of say, well, let's keep it going and try and do something big for this anniversary and then see in 6 months' time. But, I guess a lot of TV executives aren't sitting there with episode numbers, or they don't see the relevance or care that it's the 1,000th episode or something, or they just want to start something cheaper. But the 7th of July, at the end of the 1990 FIFA World Cup, that's when they did that three tenors thing with Pavarotti and Nessun Dorma and
the 30 quid job, as I used to refer to it as. Yeah.
13th of July, the network television premiere of the 1987 science fiction adventure Time Stalkers on BBC One.
I don't remember Time Stalkers.
Is it, or is it just a film? I think it's just a made-for-television science fiction film. They're sticking that on BBC One, and yet they've got Terminator on BBC Two, that seems like the wrong way round. You think? It's a screenplay by Brian Clemens, who did The Avengers.
So he's after a series.
Yeah, there's probably a kind of backdoor.
I've got Time Stalkers. It's a 1987 American made-for-TV science fiction film.
Yeah. So, I suppose by 1990 there was probably no chance of it turning into a series. But it's weird that they put it on BBC One rather than.
The BBC bought it. Well, the BBC were, because there was that big hoorah during the late 80s, early 90s about this sudden, because the BBC were trying to cut costs. The sudden buying up of a lot of American programs, and I think we were buying a lot of series that were being tested in pilots, I think.
19th of July, MPs vote to make televised proceedings of the House of Commons a permanent fixture.
Oh no!
On the 21st of July, the debut of Stars in Their Eyes. That's when Leslie Crowther used to do it. Stars in Their Eyes was it celebrities or was it normal people doing impersonations of even more? Was it members of the public? Members of the public impersonate showbiz stars. But I think later on they did it with celebrities doing sort of
got a chance to play their favourite star, didn't they?
Yeah. Apparently it's coming. It's been revived number of different times.
It's an easy format, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Leslie Crowther did it from 1990 to 1992. Russ Abbott did the 1990.
Russ Abbott.
He did the 1993 Elvis special, and then Matthew Kelly did it from 93 to 2004. I think he's the most famous sort of presenter. Then Davina McCall did some specials in 2003. Kat Deely did it from 2003 to 2006. And Harry Hill did a special in 2015. Apparently, there was a non-televised pilot filmed in 1989, and that was hosted by Chris Tarrant. So.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I can't imagine him being that interested. I can imagine him being very bored about it. What else have we got? What? Why is this news? The final edition of Engineering Announcements is shown on Channel 4 at 5:45 a.m. It's a weekly magazine of news and information intended for technicians and salespeople. Nobody would have been watching.
It's all happening.
Hey Hey It's Saturday replaces Whack 90 as TV-AM's flagship Saturday morning children's program.
Oh, Whack 90 would have been Whack a Day, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The guy with his hammer.
The Wide Awake Club.
We're wide awake. We're not.
Timmy Mallet. Tommy Boyd. Michaela Strachan. At least Michaela Strachan got to do. She's much more respected for doing nature programs.
She is, isn't she? But she used to do a lot of kids programs.
Yes. Another debut of a sort of quite famous. Well, there's a few coming up in August. 9th of August, the debut of Drop the Dead Donkey on Channel 4. That was set in a newspaper office, wasn't it?
The series that launched Neil Pearson.
Yeah. And Stephen Tompkinson, who was quite...
Oh, yeah.
And Hayden Gwynn. And then on the 10th of August, the debut of The Word on Channel 4.
Oh, no. Terry Christian.
Yeah, that was like how do they describe that?
A young person's trendy program.
Anarchic.
Did they? I didn't think it was anarchic. I thought it was sort of a young person's music-y type thing, wasn't it?
Well, but it was a bit. There were bits. I don't know if it got worse or whether it was always bad, but there were
I think it was always The Word.
But didn't they sort of think? Was it that one where they would get like so they'd have little bits between scenes, and they had like young people kissing really, really old people with their teeth out and things like that.
Right. I don't remember that bit.
I just...
Are we watching the same show, or are you just watching that documentary on Channel 4 again?
Well, I just remember it being a bit gross out as well, but whether it started off being gross out...
That sounds more like TGI Friday, doesn't it? Or TFI Friday, sorry.
Yeah, it is known for some of its. They had Kurt Cobain was on there, and he said something rude, and it's one of the TV debut of Oasis. I
know Terry Christian thought a lot of himself in it, didn't he? Yeah.
Lynn Perry, he used to be on Coronation Street as Ivy Tilsley.
She was mad as a bag of frogs. Yeah.
And Oliver Reed was on there being very, very, very drunk.
That's most unlike Ollie.
But before performing Wild Thing by the Trogs.
Oh no, I do remember that he did that on Michael Aspel and Co. Do you remember that live program?
I do remember him.
Sunday nights, it got pulled, didn't it?
Yeah.
He came on stage carrying a jug of something. He sang Wild Thing, sat down. I think Michael Aspel asked him one question, and there's a really concerned look on his face because they're obviously in the control room are saying to him, "Cut it, Michael, cut it, Michael." And the next thing he says, "Thank you very much." And he goes, "Oh, is that it?" And run titles as quickly as possible.
I'm surprised that because it was going out live. I was surprised they made it go out live. I think they would have started recording. If they'd been recording it, they could just scrap the episode and done something, not had it on the film.
No, it always makes good ratings if you got Ollie Reed on there because you know what kind of state he's going to be in. Bless its heart.
The final episode of Miami Vice is shown.
Oh, Crockett's and Tubbies. Mm-hmm.
I think when we've done some of the earlier years, there was mention of it sort of being it was a bit erratic, the showing of that show, because of various controversies and things. Can't remember the full story now. I don't know whether it was sort of glamorizing violence around the time of Nasty.
Yeah, there was nasty amount of violence in it. But it was a very unbelievable cop show of them living in Miami, wasn't it? And they were all, hence the name of the program, obviously, but the motorboats and sports cars, and you're thinking, wow, Miami must be a really exciting place. And having been to Miami, it's not like that, really. Only a little tiny bit of it is.
The first series of Stars in Their Eyes is won by somebody doing an impression of Shirley Bassey.
Shirley Bassey is Shirley Bassey.
Oh no, Shirley Bassey wasn't being. It's someone called Maxine Barry that was doing Shirley Bassey. She's probably somebody who still does working men's clubs or something, doing Shirley Bassey 30 years later.
Drags up as Shirley.
The first season of The Simpsons is shown in September. That's on Sky One.
It starts off on Sky and comes on to Channel 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, because around that time they were doing stuff like or whether it was a little bit later. I can't remember when that single, The Bartman, was so popular. I can't imagine. I almost feel like we didn't quite know what The Simpsons were when those songs were. Perhaps kids liked the animation and the song, but they hadn't. I don't know how many people had actually seen it, because not that many people necessarily had Sky. Not in the UK. So I sort of also remember thinking that The Simpsons was going to be just about Bart, and then realizing it was a lot more balanced with the characters. So I definitely feel like I was aware of the song before I was aware of actually what the series involved. But the children's series Rosie and Jim makes its debut on children's.
Rosie and Jim.
But they sort of...
They lived on a canal boat.
Well, they sort of puppety things.
Yeah, cloth-faced things.
Quite scary. So I'm trying to take my dressing gown off, and my arms are stuck.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologise here. I wasn't aware that he was inappropriately dressed for broadcasting. I myself are in dinner jacket and evening attire. No trousers.
In attire. You're in attire.
I'm in attire, yes.
Rosie and Jim ran for 10 years. They look very scary. They almost look like voodoo dolls or something. What else? The new BBC building at White City opens. Generation Game returns with Bruce Forsyth. Well, that's another sort of crossover, because he was doing stuff on ITV and now he's back on the BBC. I suppose he must have done quite a lot of things on, because he wasn't he eventually on Come Dancing? Oh, Strictly Come Dancing.
Strictly Come Dancing, yeah. Come Dancing was originally done by Terry Wogan.
8th of September, the 1000th episode, or episode 1000 of Neighbours is shown. Thundercats returns to BBC One.
Thundercats.
That's weird.
No, it's just my voice. I can't help it.
Well, no, my brother was really into Thundercats, but I sort of associate being into it in the sort of mid to late 80s. But it says it returns with the second half of the first series. However, because of the use of weapons brought about by Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, the next batch of
Turtle Power
episodes, they have nunchucks in Thundercats as well. I suppose they might. They had 130 episodes, 4 seasons, from 85 to 89. And goodness knows when my brother was watching it. But I know he was very keen on Postman Pat and Thomas the Tank Engine, and then suddenly he was interested in Thundercats. I don't remember him being interested in Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. So he probably would only been 8 by then, so he probably was. I just don't remember it. BBC One screens Horror Cafe, a late-night horror-themed special with filmmakers and authors such as John Carpenter, Clive Barker and Roger Corman telling scary stories.
That would have been brought in from the States probably then.
Followed by George A. Romero's Martin the Vampire and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde starring Spencer Tracy. Blue Peter, a special edition something to do with Hurricane Hugo. Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Slack. 20th of September, Star Trek Next Generation makes its UK debut on BBC Two with the feature-length episode Encounter at Farpoint. That started in 87. So I remember it taking quite a while to...
That was a slow burner, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people showed me episodes. Again, was that like on Sky, or were there sort of bootleg copies making their way over?
I had a few bootleg copies. I had the first sort of the season closer with the Borg. I had a bootleg copy of that.
Yeah. The children's series How comes back as How 2 with Fred Dinage, who was in the original series, Carol Vorderman and Gareth Jones. Wasn't he known as Gaz Top?
Gaz Top.
Yeah.
I'm not making any comment.
28th of September, the debut of Have I Got News for You, which still runs to this day.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for a long while.
It hasn't changed much.
I know. I think
not the same.
And I think that's probably why, because it's a topical news program, so they've always got material. It's just, I think I just kind of got to the point where, well, you still get the same sort of sarcastic comments about it all, and the people doing it are usually the right side of the news, in that you agree with what they're saying. It's just, I think some of these long-running series, I just get a bit. I think I felt,
went to go and see it being filmed once.
Oh yeah,
it was a remarkably small studio, very hot, and most of it they couldn't show because it was highly libelous, but very entertaining. It used to be filmed on the South Bank.
Yeah, I did like it. I just think I just get a bit fed up of the formats after a while, and you don't necessarily want to keep committing to watching the same show. That's just me. The Mary Whitehouse Experience comes to TV. That was a radio show to start with.
You see that pile of crisps over there? That's been crushed.
That's you.
That is. Yeah. Haircut. Yeah, they had a severe falling out, those two, didn't they?
Yeah, quite a lot. Because that's sort of David Baddiel, Rob Newman, and Steve Punt and Hugh Dennis, and they've all continued to do.
Well, three of them did.
Rob Newman not.
Rob Newman didn't know. Rob Newman had a few issues.
I think I was confused. I confused Rob Newman with Stuart Lee because from Lee and Herring. But
when they were doing their live show, traveling around the country, Newman and Baddiel, they weren't talking to each other. They absolutely hated each other. And that bit where they have the two professors mocking each other, it's particularly barbed because they are throwing it at each other genuinely because they really don't like each other by that stage. I think they both had opinions on the world and they just clashed so badly.
He has done something, books and the odd radio series more recently, so it's not completely...
He's coming coming back from the cold.
But certainly, not sort of as big as they were. They were really big for those, though, because then did they
did the universities a lot, didn't they? They appealed to the university generation.
But then they did, from what house they did Newman and Baddiel, wasn't that? That was another. They did live things, and then Punt and Dennis went off and did stuff as a twosome.
The thing with Punt and Dennis was
they were good on the radio, but they didn't seem to be as good on screen. So they were really, really good radio personalities. I never thought they were really good when they came to screen.
6th of October, the UK premiere of Top Gun on ITV.
Topical.
There's been a sequel quite recently. I don't think I've ever seen Top Gun. I don't really I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise.
The music's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it Top Gun that's got Take My Breath Away?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, a new series of Fireman Sam.
Okay, now you're scraping.
A controversial episode of Question Time, but I really can't draw the interest to find out why it's controversial. 23rd of October, David Lynch's Twin Peaks makes its debut on BBC Two.
I'm looking at that on my shelf as we speak. I've never watched it all.
Yeah, I have, and I even watched the Comeback series, but I've had it on DVD for ages, intending to watch from the start, and I just haven't yet had the moment to start it, and I've had it for years. So that was the talk of the 6th year back in those days.
Yeah.
Oh, another popular sitcom. All the big 90s sitcoms.
Big shooters are out.
Yeah, the first episode of Keeping Up Appearances
the Bucket Woman
with Patricia Routledge starts in 29th of October.
Queen Victoria herself.
Gosh, that happened quickly. BSB merges with Sky Television to become British Sky Broadcasting on the 2nd of November. I didn't realise this all happened quite so quickly. But the comedy sketch show Harry Enfield's television programme, later Harry Enfield and Chums makes its debut.
Yeah.
I used to really like Harry Enfield, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's not somebody I've sort of gone back to.
I've met Harry. He's a nice chap.
Because Paul Whitehouse and Kathy Burke were also involved with that, and they've done.
That's why you had the slobs, didn't you? Famously enough, Waynetta slob.
Oh, I didn't realise 9th of November. I didn't realise that the Word was originally on at 6 p.m. On the 9th
Channel
of November,
4, yeah.
But on the 9th of November, it moved from 6 p.m. to a late night time slot. And I only ever remember it being on late night.
Well, I think Word took over really after a gap from the Tube, didn't it? After that was surreptitiously pulled because of a particular presenter saying a rude word on children's television on ITV at 5:15. Jules Holland.
But he maintains he didn't realise it was going out, or he thought
he maintains it was never going out live, but you still wouldn't have said that in a trailer anyway.
No. We're nearly the end of the year. I'm just trying to see what's worth mentioning. The debut of Pingu, a kids show about a penguin.
I have to confess to Pengu. I only discovered Pengu when I was living on the Isle of Wight, so that would have been about 8 years ago. And I have some DVDs of Pengu because I love Pengu, because I love the way. I love Pengu. He's crazy.
I don't know.
He's one crazy kid. Is that Pengu?
It's original. It's like it says British Swiss. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very much in the Aardman animation sort of vein.
Yeah, I think.
But it's really cool. I suggest you watch one, and I'd like to know how you react to it, because it's utterly charming and completely bonkers.
Yeah. On the 20th of November 1990, Melandra Burrows, who's in Emmerdale, she sings a song in character, which later gets released as a single. It enters the charts at number 44, but it doesn't.
Stays there.
It gets eventually. Well, it eventually gets to number 11. But,
oh Lord, we must have been short of music that month.
Called "Just This Side of Love." I sort of was aware that she did a song, but I couldn't. So I'm sure it wouldn't have been my cup of tea anyway. But, where's it gone? The 25th of November, the final episode of Howard's Way is broadcast on BBC One.
You bloody stole my boat.
I have got box set, but
never mind.
I think I started
Flowers of Sympathy.
I think I watched a few episodes, but I didn't buy it. It was bought by somebody else in the house, but they've lost interest, so I will watch it sometime. But
once again, it was all filmed in Southampton and around there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a controversial episode of Spitting Image, but
aren't they all?
Yeah, but I think it's extra controversial, but I can't remember what. It's too long to explain. Something about the channel. Oh, that video where them digging the channel tunnel, where they meet, the two ends of the channel meet in the middle.
That could have been very embarrassing if they got it wrong.
Yeah, that happened on the 1st of December 1990.
Wow.
The first ever episode of Coronation Street is repeated for its 30th anniversary on the 2nd of December. And Cilla Black does a show called Happy Birthday Coronation Street.
Oh gosh, I've switched off already. Quick, put me on life support machine.
the network premiere of The Muppets Take Manhattan on BBC One.
That's better. Now you've woken me up.
16th of December.
That's the one with Diana Riggan, isn't it?
Or
is that the Muppet Caper? Oh. Answers on a postcard.
Of the live action cast, I don't see anyone that is even
Broomhilda. Oh, never mind.
No, I don't think it is that. We'll just meant there's some guest stars. There must be actors, and then there must be guest stars. Elliot Gould is in it. John Landis, Liza Minnelli as herself, Joan Rivers, Brooke Shields.
Oh, I might have watched that then. Yeah, Brooke Shields in. I remember from a film. What was it called? Heavens, that I can't remember.
Heavens to Betsy.
Yes, Heavens to Murgatroyd.
On the 24th, on Christmas Eve, the last episode of All Creatures Great and Small, a feature-length episode, was shown. And we're talking about Wallace and Gromit. The first A Grand Day Out was shown.
Day Out. I love
on the 24th.
Out.
Actually, this year's Christmas is well, that's a surprise. On Christmas Day, do you know what the big film is of Christmas Day? I guess it wasn't
Moonraker.
No, it was
It's
E.T.
always Moonraker.
It was E.T. Making its UK debut on. I suppose that's only 8 years. 8 pushing 9 years. Poltergeist 2 on Boxing Day, and
that always the original always gives me the creeps.
And there was an adaptation of Lorna Doone on ITV. There's an adaptation.
Lorna Doone, is that the niece of Brigadoon?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very old joke.
The 27th of December, the network premiere of The Dark Crystal, Jim Henson's Dark Crystal. And the network premiere of My Left Foot. That's not very cheery for Christmas, the Christmas time, is it? Well, I've never seen it, but I don't imagine it's very cheery. But God, New Year's Eve. It's nearly as bad this year. At the end of the New Year's Eve highlights include network television premiere of the 1987 romantic comedy Roxanne.
Oh yes, yeah. With Steve
Martin,
Steve Martin and his big nose.
Cyrano de Bergerac, a version of that. But still, is it New Year material? New Year's Eve material? You also got things like Ben Elton, the Man from Auntie, starting in 1990.
Oh, Lord, yes.
House of Cards, the Inspector Allen mysteries. Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit.
Oh, yes, I remember that, yeah.
Oh, Rabsy Nesbitt, that started in 1990. Blimey, Rabsy Nesbitt ran from 1990 to 2014. I had no idea. I mean, it can't have been running constantly from... That was a very Scottish comedy series. And for 10 series, they must have had breaks for it to run that long. Oh, I think it ran from 88 to 99, but there was some more later on. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Rabsy Nesbitt. It all seemed a bit
Scottish.
Yeah. Oh, drunk. Quite drunken as well.
Hey. So I was clearing my throat there. I wasn't doing an impression.
Oh, right, sorry. Oh, Tarrant on TV.
He took over from Clive James on TV, didn't he?
Yeah. Chancer. Some of these I remember without ever having actually seen them. You've Been Framed started in 1990. That was like Candid Camera, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Actually. Jeeves and Wooster. That's the version with Fry and Laurie, I imagine, is it?
Bit of Fry and Laurie.
Oh, yes, it is, yes. Perfect Scoundrels. Is that Peter? Oh, that's Peter Bowles. Cluedo. They made that for the first season of that.
I never watched those.
I think I did, at least because Tom Baker was on it one year. The She-Wolf of London. I have a feeling that wasn't on
that.
I sort of, I don't. If anything, I feel like that might have been on at very late night times. Oh, Medics. That was. That
was Tom, definitely Tom, and what's her face?
From Brookside, Sue Johnson.
And wasn't that Vicky from second season of Who? My brain's whittled out my ears, I'm afraid.
Hugh Johnston. not son.
Why am I thinking of medics? What am I thinking
No,
of?
she might be in it. But
Do the voice. Don't go. Don't go.
I don't see her mentioned.
No,
Maureen O'Brien. Maureen
O'Brien, yes.
I don't see her mentioned in there.
Where did I see her then? Where am I? What program was she in then? She was in a medical one. I know she was in a medical one. I thought Tom was in it. Don't go.
I'll have a look for you. Maureen O'Brien.
Don't go.
I think I remember Maureen O'Brien being in an episode of Bergerac. Duchess of she was in the second season of Casualty.
It might have been that. I might have mixed it up with that. It was a hospital drama.
In Taggart and Heartbeat and Jonathan Creek, but only like guest episodes. Anyway, well, I think that's 1990. We'll I guess we better
Go
head
see how the guy's doing.
Yeah. Listeners, you ought to go and join them, and we'll catch up with you. And right.
What's going on? Cromitty, Yeti, Uncle John, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, Martin, we're down the well. We fell down the well.
You did what?
No, we fell down the well. He was making me take photos, and I fell backwards. And then he tried to rescue me, and he fell in too.
Oh, blimey. How can I get you out?
Well, do be careful. We don't want you falling in.
Oh, dear. I'm going to have to go and get some help.
See if Paul's around or Warren. Actually, I think Coconut Jim is supposed to be turning up at some point. Help! There's a fog down here. He's very unpleasant.
All right, I'll go and find him. Oh dear.
Warren, what's going on? Oh, what's that? What's going on? I can see that's Martin. He's running towards us.
Martin doesn't run, does he?
Well, he can do. Actually, Martin was once an undercover detective. You should chat with him one day. Martin, what's wrong?
Oh, they've fallen down the well.
Who's fallen down the well?
Well, Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John. It's a long story. We need to get them out.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Can we just not put the lid on it?
No, we can't. Well, you need to take charge. You know what to do in these sort of circumstances.
Right. Get me some hot water and towels.
No, that's the wrong sort of emergency.
Rope. We need lots of rope.
I found a little bit.
That's string. That's not rope.
Yeah, exactly. We need something stronger than this.
Can we dangle a person down there? And they can grab hold of them and we can pull them up.
Sure, no, I think that's how they got in the situation they are. Maybe there's something at the Magpie Hut. I'll go and look. Apparently, Coconut Jim's supposed to be somewhere around in the area as well. Perhaps Ick can. No, Ick's gone. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll go and look at the Magpie Hut. You do your best.
Right, come on, let's go. And you must better reassure them or something. You must.
I'll shout down at them.
Right, okay.
Hello. I'm putting echo on this sound effect on my mic.
That's fine.
Hello.
Is that you, Warren? It's me, Yeti Uncle John.
Yes. Can you hear me?
It's not that deep a well. Look, I can almost touch your fingertips. It's just it's a little well, but it's still not very. It's very slimy inside. Yes, it is. Oh dear,
You've got
dear.
frogs down there, have you?
There is frogs.
That time of year where they take a liking to humans.
I know. This one keeps looking at me. I think it likes my ankles.
Is it licking its eyes? Yeah, you be careful of that.
It might well be. Blimey. Oh dear. Can you rescue us, Uncle Warren?
Yeah, we'll get you out somehow. It's Coconut Jim coming. It's Coconut. Hello, I'm Coconut Jim. I'm up and down, and I go to the gym. I'm Coconut Jim. I'm tall and slim. Hello, I'm Coconut Jim.
Oh, hello, Coconut Jim. We need rescuing.
Oh, up and down. Well, Coconut Jim is tall and slim. Oh, I'm tall and slim. I'm Coconut Jim. I'm really going to slap him in a minute.
Is he stretchy?
Can I stretch parts of you, Coconut Jim? Oh, not in public. What we need is some ballast. What we need is the other coconut. Here, lad, you're asking for ballast? No, don't come over there. Come over here. Stand next to me, lad. Come over here. Give us a cough. Now, what seems to be trouble at Mill?
The Comedy and your Uncle John are stuck down a well, and we need to get them out. And Martin's going to get a ladder. If you think we should wait till Martin gets back with the ladder, then we can. Or if you think you can help, then please do.
Well, I could, lad. I could, lad. I could get the other lad, that tall, slim, and streaky bloke. Oh, Coconut Jim and tall. Yes, lad, we know who you are. And we'll drop him down, and I can ballast him at this end, and the others can climb up Coconut Jim because he's very elasticated.
Where's Warren gone? Is he gone to see where Martin is, maybe? That would explain why Warren's not here anymore.
I'm over here. I'm helping him.
Oh, gosh, it's like an episode of Casualty or something.
Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Coconut Jim in his reach around and put you down there, okay? Oh, Coconut Jim. Ooh!
Well, you get on my shoulders, Comedy. We'll get you out first.
Oh, Coconut Jim. Oh, steady now. Steady, I'm coming. Hello. Oh, it's dark down here.
Oh, dear. Don't worry. Don't
grab that.
Oh, dear.
It's my mental chewy mints.
Paul, heave.
We will fix it, we will mend it, we will fix it, quick. Heave!
Oh, I think they're coming out. Oh, yes, look, it seems to be working. It's a marvellous rescue. Look,
is everything all right? Do you need us with the ladder?
Yeah, we've brought the ladder.
I think.
Yeah, come on, lad. Heave ho with Coconut Jim. Coconut Jim. I'm tall and slim, and I'm really stuck down the bleeding well.
Too many characters in this scene. I think it's time to end the scene. We'll end the scene now. I think the rescue has been achieved. It's a wonderful thing to witness on audio. Well, listeners, gosh, wasn't that dramatic? Wasn't that dramatic?
Tweet.
We'll talk. Well, I think we're running out of time, so it's probably time to say goodbye. But we'll speak to all those involved at the end of the episode. Possibly not Coconut Jim or Coconut Jims, because they shouldn't keep turning up together because they're supposed to be one person. But anyway, I'm glad to say that Comedy and Yeti Uncle John are fine, although I'm not pleased with Yeti Uncle John at all. But there we go. Anyway, well, Warren, thank you very much for helping. It's been
a pleasure. Been a pleasure.
Glad
everyone's in one piece.
Yes, I think they are just about.
Sorry, I missed all the action. I went to go and help with the collecting of the ladder because it's quite a long ladder, and I had to get the end. So I had to grab hold of the firm end.
Yeah, well, it was useful. And then we went and did some scrumping over the wall with the ladder as well. So it worked. It worked well. I don't quite know what wall, but we had to build a wall in front of an apple tree, and then we got the ladder.
Then David Hasselhoff arrived, and we kicked it down.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yes. So we did.
It all comes together perfectly, doesn't it?
Anyway, listeners, that is it for now. Except for that it's not it. But anyway, we're putting the music on now. There'll be more episodes coming soon. Probably less weird ones. So right, yes. Let's say goodbye for now, and then we'll be back in about 30 seconds. So say goodbye, Warren, even though you'll be back in 30 seconds.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Doing okay?
Yeah, Cromitty, we're worried about you. Okay.
Yes, I'm fine. I should have realized when he wanted me to pose on the edge of a well that was a bit of a stupid thing to do. But he kept wanting me to lean back, and then I fell in, and he tried to.
That's a bit of bacon, isn't it? Lean back.
Well, yes, but thank goodness it wasn't a very deep well. But it was.
Do you need rubbing? Are you warm enough? Do you need rubbing to bring back your extremities working?
No, it's fine. I just found a frog in my trousers, but well, at least I think that's what it is. But oh dear. Would you pass on my thanks to Coconut Jim, Coconut Jims for helping out?
We will indeed do that. I don't know where they are at the moment. Do you, Paul?
No, I don't know.
It's all right, guys. If you want to go and speak to Yeti Uncle John, I'm here to look after Cromitty. I was very worried about you, Cromitty.
Oh, I know, Martin. Thank you very much.
Yes. You mustn't hang around the edge of wells with Yeti Uncle John. I knew he'd take advantage of you.
Well, I just hope he got some good photos. Maybe it'll make it all worthwhile. They should really block up that well for a start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Putting some old scaffolding or something over the top of it, it's just not enough. But anyway, I can hear the theme music coming. Well, when we come back after this music, we'll be talking to Yeti Uncle John. So, yes, we really need to have a severe word with him. But, anyway, I'll leave you two, and
thanks, Paul.
Well, thank you. Yes, see you soon, listeners. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye, listeners.
I gotta go now. Bye. I want to go with you.
Gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye.
It's been good, but yeah, definitely time to come home now.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
So, Yeti Uncle John, what have you got to say for yourself? I was a victim of the whole thing myself. I could have been hurt, Paul. Yeah, well, yes, but so could Cromitty, and it's because of you posing by the well that Cromitty fell down it. Oh, I know it's not what I intended. I see Warren looking at me. What do you cross?
I am not a happy man.
Oh dear! Look, I didn't intend this to happen. Warren, I'm sorry. Look,
I am very, 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 very disappointed in you.
Oh dear! I mean, it wasn't a very deep well.
No. Oh, I'm very disappointed.
Oh dear! Oh, sorry, I disappointed you, Warren. I apologise. I've apologised to Cromitty. I think
you should take some time with Cromitty, and I think you should look after him, and I think you should take him up for a slap-out meal.
Yes.
Forget the slap. Just take him for the meal.
Yeah, I'm not sure he really wants to spend any time with Iti Akujo at the moment. I mean, he and Martin seem to be.
Yes, they're getting on quite well, aren't they? It's not, and let that be a lesson to you. Let that be a lesson to you. He's walked away from you. You need to realise that. You brought this upon yourself. There's no prevaricating.
We're just old friends. We're just old friends, Cromitty and I.
Old friends shouldn't hang around wells.
Yes, well. Anyway, I keep saying well.
Characters in a well.
Oh, look. I found a frog under my armpit. Anyone want a frog?
Ribbit.
No, John, I don't want a frog. It's time to finish this episode.
Ribbit.
I'm sorry, Warren. Next time you come, we'll do that Chinese meal. It'll be a lot more calm.
Marvellous. I look forward to my fortune being told in my clackers.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yes. Fortunes are very exciting. Well, it's a shame we didn't foresee this happening in a fortune cookie. Wouldn't that have been nice? Oh, dear. Goodbye, listeners.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Anyone want this frog? I don't know what to do with it. Should I put it back in the water somewhere?
Ribbit.
Okay, let's just shove this one out. Get her going.
Ew. What's that smell?
Oh, I think that was a wonderful episode, don't you, Toppy?
I sure do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Paul, that was a whopper.
No, kitty, Dee. Kitty.
Oh, I love Dee Dee. This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
640.
Take it.
640.
I would have thought it would have been right on your screen. Don't go. Ribbit.